today. I'm about a minute late because I was letting some new wonderful women, I'm sure. I'm going to get to know you. I'm sure you're wonderful, though. Letting you guys into our wonderful group here. Um, okay, so let me just open up my comments. If you are with me live or at any point through this training, you show up live, please use the comment box to communicate back and forth with me, to answer your questions, answer my questions, to share your experiences. And if you're on replay, hashtag replay, and I'll come back and answer any questions that you have. If you're watching this on YouTube, then come on over to the Facebook group, Intuitive Eating for a Diet-Free Life. It's linked below the video over on YouTube, so we can get to know you there as well. So again, welcome everybody, especially welcome to our new members. Please come say hello, especially if you're new to me. One thing that I really want you to know is that when I do my live trainings, whether it be here in our Facebook group, whether it be on webinars that I run or trainings of any kind, I love when you participate because you learn and it gives me a lot of energy. So let me know that you're with me, and definitely come back and comment after. So Wednesdays is Intuitive Eating Wisdom Wednesday. That is where I drop some intuitive eating wisdom for you, where you can really get to learn about this amazing way of eating and treating your body. Today's topic is pretty much how to effectively not diet, but more than that, how to eat intuitively without using intuitive eating as a tool for weight loss. So we're going to get into that in just a moment. But for everybody who knows me for a long time, welcome. For those of you who are very new to me, I'm so happy that you're here. If you're new, check your private messages, because I like to send a welcome message to you guys, so I can get to know you a little bit. And if you haven't received that message yet, then you can go ahead and message me first, or check your other message folder. Okay, so who am I? Bonnie Giller. I posted earlier today in the group a little bit about my own personal story about dieting, and the day it really, I guess, made such an impact on me that I realized, I'm not going to diet anymore, because look what I'm doing to my daughter, and look at the message. Anyway, go back to read that post. I hope it resonates with you. I am a registered dietitian, nutritionist, certified intuitive eating counselor, and a certified diabetes care and education specialist. Basically, I help women stop dieting and regain trust with food. So eating is easy, it's enjoyable, and it's nourishing to their body and mind. And I also help those with medical conditions. I know so many of you here in our group have shared with me that you have some form of a health issue and health condition, whether it's diabetes or it's gastro problems or heart disease. Either way, that you've been told you need to lose weight in order to manage those health conditions, yet you see time and time again that that actually doesn't work, right? Because you've been dieting and you've been dieting and you've been dieting, and maybe you've lost the weight, but then you regained it back, and the cycle continues. Anyway, we're not going to get into the whole doctor talk today, but I do really want to talk about why intuitive eating is not a weight loss tool, because it is evident that dieting has not been a sustainable approach for you, for anyone, to achieve long-term weight loss. Now, you may argue that there's somebody you know who's lost weight by dieting and kept it off, and I'm not going to deny there are those unicorns out there, right? There probably is. However, what I want you to understand is that for the majority of people, that just does not work, and instead, it causes you to have a very fractured relationship with food as well as yourself. But here's the thing, I'm advocating intuitive eating. We'll talk more about that, of course, but that's not to be used for weight loss either. That is so very important. On social media, on the internet, online, you will often see people and hear people preach that eating intuitively has helped them lose weight. You'll also hear people say, oh, I can eat whatever I want, whenever I want. Well, intuitive eating is not about instant gratification. It's not about see it, want it, eat it. And it certainly is not a tool for weight loss. Will or do people lose weight? We'll get into that. Some people, yes, they do. Some people don't. But either way, using it as a tool to lose weight is actually It doesn't go along with the whole philosophy of what we want to do for intuitive eating. So, or what intuitive eating is really hoping to help you with, right? So, what exactly is intuitive eating? A lot of you who've been with me for a long time, I'm sure you know repetition is important to change the neural pathways in your brain, but so many of you who are new to our community actually are new to this concept of intuitive eating. Essentially, intuitive eating is an anti-diet approach to eating. When we were born, we all knew how to eat intuitively. That is a fact, okay? You gave yourself unconditional permission to eat when you were younger or throughout your years before you started to get sucked into diet culture, which basically means choosing foods based on what your body needs, what your body wants, without thinking about, will this change my body physically? Listening to hunger and fullness cues, right? Those are the signals that you were born with. So if you were, reaching for a snack because your stomach was grumbling and you got the message that you were physically hungry, deciding, when you're done eating, even if there's food on the plate, so there was none of that clean the plate mentality, which comes from a sense of entitlement when you're dieting. You lived in true food neutrality, which means that you saw food with no deeper meaning than other than satisfying your hunger, your cravings, bringing pleasure. Food wasn't good or bad. It was just food, right? Remember, one of my favorite things to say is food is not a cheat. Food is not a treat. Food is food, right? There were no labels assigned or attached to food based on the nutritional value or the way a food could affect your body. But that's not the way it is today, right? Not the way it is today. Because over time, you have been impacted by diet culture. And all that has done is allowed you to believe that your body could always be smaller, should always be smaller, that certain foods were good for you, certain foods are bad for you based on how they could possibly influence your weight, your body, and it stripped you from all that you knew that you were born with as an intuitive eater. Excuse me. Intuitive eating advocates for the exact opposite ideas of diet culture. And it's not just about eating whatever and wherever, right? It's about trusting. Now, one of our new members had shared in the introduction that she's concerned, she's worried. I don't remember the actual verbiage, but I do remember her sharing about not trusting herself with food, or there's a fear that she doesn't trust herself or wouldn't be able to trust herself with food. If that is you, comment below, because you're not alone. I will say most people, if not all of my clients, move into the process of recovery coming from a place of distrust. This is not your fault. This is the fault of diets and the diet industry, causing you to lose trust in yourself. So intuitive eating is about regaining that trust again. It's trusting that your body is knowing what's right for you. It's understanding what your body needs physically to be able to thrive, providing your body with what it craves and what it needs, and focuses on both nourishment and pleasure in regards to food. So, if intuitive, I don't know why I've got a little frog in my throat. Give me a minute. Sometimes I get so into what I'm talking about. I talk a little too fast. If I'm talking fast, slow me down. So if intuitive eating is about making peace with food and your body, then why exactly can't you do that also while thinking about losing weight is maybe a question that you have, that you're thinking about. Well, no matter what people may say about weight loss and intuitive eating online, because I'm sure you've read that, So for example, like I have seen it myself where people are promoting it and saying, well, intuitive eating helped me lose X amount of pounds, or, I keep the weight off and I eat whatever I want and I don't even have to think about it, right? Like all these kinds of things. The true intent of intuitive eating is being able to tune into what your body is asking for, to connect back to your inner wisdom, to have complete trust in your intuition, and to develop a body acceptance along with that food freedom. That last piece is sometimes very difficult for people because you've been striving to change your body for so long. So think about why why you've made the decision to take this intuitive eating path after chronically dieting or struggling with your relationship with food. What has brought you to this path of intuitive eating? Please share in the comments. I'd love to know. Perhaps you, number one, have a poor relationship with food and your body, because dieting has made you more preoccupied with changing your body and has led you to believe that there is something morally wrong with the way you look. No, that is diet culture making you believe that. Maybe you turned intuitive eating, or I should say, maybe you turned towards disordered eating and eating disorder behaviors. So you are realizing that and you're recognizing it's time to heal. Because food restriction, because no doubt if you're here, you've dieted for the most part. Now I know there are some people who maybe have never dieted before, but I want you to, I'll say this, you've never dieted before on a formal diet, but you may have certain food rules that you've put together for yourself. So you may think, I've never dieted, but if you have food rules, that is your own self-designed diet. That is still dieting. Many people have reached out who have joined our group that they may never have struggled with their bodies and their weights until menopause. And now they've put the weight on and they're starting to get on the diet bandwagon. This is a problem, but you're here. So we're fixing that problem, right? So food restriction that you've engaged in the past, or hopefully not currently, but perhaps because the diet mentality is super sneaky, food restriction may have caused you to experience binge eating, followed by what? What happens after you binge eat? There's guilt, there's shame, and then there's restriction that follows perhaps the next day, right? So much disordered eating behaviors wrapped up in all of this. And maybe you came to this path because you truly realize you're disconnected from your body. You've become so out of tune with your body and what is asking from you. It's interesting because all over, the medical field and the literature, there's this quote unquote, obesity epidemic. No, what we have is an epidemic of disconnection from your body, from your inner wisdom, and it's time to reconnect back to that and learn to trust it. And I know it sounds maybe impossible if you've been dieting and struggling for a gazillion years, but I'm telling you, it is possible. What you need is a structured step-by-step approach and somebody to guide you and somebody to care about you, because the diet industry, I'm sorry to say, doesn't care about you. Dieting has ruined your relationship not only with food, but also with your appearance, your body image, how you feel about yourself, because your body image is tied, yes, I want to say it this way, your body image is tied to your self-image. You can share more in the comments if you agree, or what your own experience has been around your feelings of self-worth and how that's tied to your body image. I'd love to hear more about that. So if you begin the intuitive eating journey with the purpose of weight loss, the bottom line is this will not work for you. You will turn intuitive eating into a diet and just another pathway to lose weight. I promise that will never pan out for you. You will be so focused on your body, how your clothes fit, the number on the scale, and it will keep you steeped in diet mentality. And that's not to say your body will or won't change when you start eating intuitively. This has nothing to do with it, right? So can you lose weight eating intuitively? Sure, it's a possibility. Everybody is different. Some people will lose weight, some people may gain weight, especially if they come into this process having suppressed their weight with an eating disorder, disordered eating, or not properly feeding themselves, right? So they're trying to keep their weight lower than what is their natural set point weight. And other bodies maintain. And there's more we can talk about that, but this can't be about changing your body because you will still be dieting in that regard. The most important part of intuitive eating, I believe, is understanding, well, maybe it's not the most important part of intuitive eating, but in reference to what we're talking about here, what I want you to understand is that weight fluctuation is okay and it is a natural part of life. It's really about accepting your body at any and every stage of life and size that it is. The diet industry, diet culture wants you to believe that you are fully in quote unquote control of being able to shrink, to mold, to sculpt your body to the way that, maybe the vision is that you want, but it is not possible in a sustainable fashion. So, how does that land for you? I know it is super scary, but these are the reasons why. You cannot embark on this intuitive eating journey still with the desire to say, maybe this will help me lose weight. Again, maybe it will, but we don't know that. We don't know that. Let me also say that weight is not an indicator of health. I know that a couple of people had posted about that, or we were sharing in private messenger about that. I know every doctor and his neighbor is telling you got to lose weight to be healthy. But, ultimately at the end of the day, those diets don't work. And even if health parameters improve when you lost weight, when you regained the weight, those labs went back up. Your health got worse. And I know, and the truth is that yo-yo dieting and weight cycling absolutely worsens your health outcomes, okay? Healthy has unfortunately become synonymous with weight loss or losing weight. That's because diet culture has hijacked the word health and healthy. And I just want you to know that eating intuitively can and will improve your physical health and your mental health, because we didn't even touch upon the mental health impact from all your years of dieting and all your years of basically being told you're not enough if you don't lose weight. So, are you wondering how can you truly achieve this anti-diet approach and start eating intuitively? Let me share with you that progress is not linear, and I've got to help you to understand that, right? This is a journey that will take time. Intuitive eating is not a quick fix because in essence, what are you doing when you're embarking on the intuitive eating journey? You are really dismantling all of the diet culture messages and other messages, stories that you have that have come maybe even back from childhood. So it's really about the mindset work we must do first before we work on attunement. Because if you are not doing the inner work, what does inner work mean? It's you're not doing the mindset work. You're not listening, identifying messages you've received and the limiting beliefs they've created and overturning them to show what is truly true for you today in this day and age. You're going to still cycle through those diets. It's going to be very difficult for you. So dieting is linear because you start here, you end there. The end there is usually a goal weight you give yourself or someone gives you, which is so ridiculous as well. We'll talk about that at another session. But so you're walking the straight path. It's like linear. God forbid you walk off the path. You're like, oh, I messed up, fell off the wagon, whatever the words are that you use, right? That's not the way we approach intuitive eating, right? Progress is not linear. So please don't get angry at yourself. Do not berate yourself. If you see yourself struggling, if you see yourself kind of falling into some of the old habits on your journey, because every single one of these experiences or challenges you have are what? There are opportunities for you to grow along your journey, okay? Consistency is key. Ultimately, the goal is to free yourself from the diet mentality. So, number one, sit with your emotions, right? The next time you're feeling guilty about food, the next time you feel a binge episode coming on, or you have just had a binge episode, or you feel like, oh, now I need to restrict again, please ask yourself why you feel that way. Try to recognize what part of this is the diet mentality creeping back in, those negative voices. Two, focus on how your body feels. Instead of letting diet culture determine what foods are good for you, what foods are not good for you, let your body choose. Listen to all the messages of your body. Now, it is true that you may not hear the messages of your body if you've been ignoring them for some time by listening to all the rules and the food rules, right? So I get that. With time, that'll come back for you. Recognize, please, that food doesn't have to be perfect, because there is no perfection in any of this. Life is unpredictable. I mean, we see that in just the last few years, right? There are going to be times when you're going to, choose certain food options based on what is available to you or what is most convenient in that moment, and that is okay. It doesn't define who you are, and there's no perfection. And really, one of the most important things is to try to work towards acceptance of where your body is in this moment. Self-confidence and a feeling of body positivity does come as a result of this intuitive eating work that we do. Dieting has made it so hard to focus on all the incredible things that your body does for you every single day. But once you start listening to what your body is asking for, and you trust those messages, again, that word trust is so important, right? You'll recognize how strong and powerful your body really is, regardless of what size it is. And so attempting to lose weight and learning to eat intuitively at the same time really just doesn't go hand in hand. Effectively anti-dieting or no longer dieting means completely giving up the idea of intentionally pursuing weight loss. Again, that doesn't mean you may not release weight, but is intentionally pursuing weight loss, right? And instead working towards the freedom and the peace that you want with food, and accepting and respecting the body that you are in right here, right now. The most beautiful gift that you can give yourself is learning to listen to your body, to understand the messages that it's giving you, to honor everything your body is asking for, and to learn to trust it. And when you learn to trust your body will learn to trust you as well. This is the key to eternal positive body image and happiness. So I'd love to hear how this has landed for you, what questions are coming up for you. Post it in the comments. If you're on replay, hashtag replay. I'll come back and respond. And just so you are fully aware, this is a great place to learn. There's plenty of videos, live streams I've done. Just go to the top navigation, click on media, and click on videos, and you'll see all the past live streams that I've done. Take a day, take a week, whatever, and watch them and get a feel for this work. And when you're ready to take it to the next level, I do have an intuitive eating coaching program, a small group of women. We work very intimately together to really help you get to that place of trusting yourself with food and ultimately being that intuitive eater like you were born. We are heading into the month of December. It is often a challenging time for people, where those who've dieted in the past are promising themselves, I'll start in January, this is going to be my year. Do not fall prey to that, please. If you do want my help, if you want to make that commitment to yourself now, then reach out to me either below this video or private message. Let's have a conversation, no charge, complimentary, to see if the intuitive eating work is right for you. I have a couple of spots left for December for the coaching program, and the prices are going up in the new year. So if it is piquing your interest at all and you are seriously saying, I do need a mentor and a strategic plan to help me get to where I want to go, then again, comment below or private message me and we'll have a conversation. We'll get on a call and we'll talk it through. All right, so that's my message for you today. I'm looking forward to your comments and talking with several of you, and I will see you next time. But in the meantime, have a look around and just soak up everything that this community has to offer you. Have a great day, and don't forget, I'm here for you, and you can do this.